What's up, guys? I'm back with another Honkai Star Rail video. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about rerolling. If you don't know what rerolling is a method used in gacha games to pretty much start off with a character or an advantage. Normally when you start off in a gacha game, you'll get your standard free characters, and then you'll probably have a few summons, and you could just end up with nothing too crazy, like a couple 4-stars in this case. But of course, you probably would want to start out with one of the 5-stars. Rerolling through that method would probably net you either your favorite character most of the times, or if you just want to 5-star any of the 5-stars, and then you'd start with an advantage. Now, there's a few disadvantages with rerolling on Honkai. I do apologize for the image quality. This is the only picture on this banner I could find. I actually didn't have any footage of it, so bear with me on it. Advantage of Star Rail is there is a banner that has 20% discount, so you only have to spend, I believe, 40 warps on this banner to get a guaranteed 5-star. That is pretty good, so it's less incentive to reroll. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I'll just reroll until I pull a 5-star and then I'll get my guaranteed 5-star. Well, I've learned that you cannot do that. If you pull a 5-star on this banner before you're guaranteed, it will take away the pity. You'll still have the discounts, and I recommend still doing them because they're still discounted summons, but you will not be guaranteed a second 5-star, which is really unfortunate. A good example of this is on my latest video when I talk about the, what was it called? It was the, I'm forgetting the name of it, but pretty much it allowed you to go to their website and get free items to transfer in game, and they have a summon feature, and I ended up pulling the 4-star light cone before the pity, and the pity went away, meaning I can only pull it once through pity. It works like that in game, so that is very unfortunate. Another disadvantage of rerolling is how long it takes. So if you are a fan of older games, you'll remember, especially when I was a kid, you can't skip cutscenes back in the day on most games, so you'd have to watch cutscene over and over. And just like the older games, Honkai has the same feature. You cannot skip cutscenes. And since it takes roughly a few hours to defeat the tutorial, from what I've heard, like I said, I actually haven't experienced the tutorial. The part of the beta I played was a different part that was already farther ahead. But yeah, a few hours does not sound too fun every time you have to reroll. I'm not looking forward to that in the slightest. Now, another disadvantage, again, is going to be the rates. Depending on what banner you summon on, you're going to have to deal with 0.6% 5-star rates. Obviously, you don't want to just have a random 4-star. You probably want to have a 5-star, so you're going to have to get really lucky with the limited amount of currency you have. Of course, since this is the game launch, you're probably going to have the most currency you would have regardless of when you start. Most of the time with gacha games, if you're not starting with the anniversary or launch, you're missing out on having a bunch of currency at the start. So I do think that if you're going to reroll, this is probably going to be the best time to do that anytime soon, but you're gonna have to slug through a bunch of cutscenes. Another disadvantage, and don't worry, there are a few advantages I will go over, is emails. I hope you like making emails, because with Honkai Star Rail, you have to have an email for every account. You cannot make an account, reroll, and then link your email, which is very unfortunate because a lot of other gacha games allow you to link at whatever time you want or unlink. Not the case with this one. So if you have a Genshin account or another Hoyoverse game and you want all of your games on one email, you're just going to have to deal with whatever the gacha system gives you. Now, there are a few advantages, I will say. They are going to be not worth it in the sense. I personally don't think rerolling is smart in this game, as you're better off just spending time leveling up your 4-stars. 4-stars in this game aren't worthless, and I'd rather spend, 6 hours farming up my 4-star and being farther in the story than rerolling and going insane watching the same cutscenes over and over. But regardless of that, one major thing you can do if you're rerolling and you happen to pull for Seely and you pull her, you are pretty much good to go on saving. You can pull for her light cone, and if you really want to summon for the other characters, you can. However, that'll allow you to save a bunch of currency, and it could be for the next character, could be for whatever, but you will save a ton of currency. because you won't have to go to pity, or you won't have to lose the 50-50 pity and have to go in again for Sealy. Of course, you do have to get lucky in that sense, but you will save a lot of currency. Another advantage you could have with re-rolling is obviously starting with a 5-star. Like I mentioned, these 5 stars, depending on who you start with, are extremely strong, and you pretty much can breeze through the story mode with them. Not saying you can't do that with 4 stars, but obviously having a 5-star has its advantages. Now, if you are going to reroll, I'm not going to have a video on this, and I'm sure there's videos out there, but the best method I could think of is making 4, 3, 2, whatever, how many emails you want. If you are playing on PC, you can download an emulator. I'm not too sure if the game will work on emulator, so do note, and would probably do something like BlueStacks. Don't know what BlueStacks is. It is an Android emulator, and I know on that you can make multiple instances, so you can have 4 of the same game playing, and you would pretty much plug in controller or bind your keys to control all 4 at once. Of course, you're going to need a rather beefy PC to do that, so it's not available for everybody, but if you are a hardcore player and you have the means and you're going to reroll, that is probably the best method I could recommend. I'm sure there's videos on it. I'm not going to make a video on it. Personally, I'm not going to reroll. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on rerolling, if you think it's worth it, if you think it's a waste of time, and let me know what character you want to pull. Personally, I hope I pull Welt and probably Bronia. I kind of want Himiko as well, but I think having my favorite character and probably the best 5-star to pull out of these characters is a little bit more important than just being like, oh, I think Himiko's pretty. Other than that, that'll pretty much be it for the video. Stay tuned on the channel. We will have a Should You Summon for Sealy soon. Also, there is a live stream happening on the 25th. I believe it is going to be 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. At least that's what my time zone is. So make sure you just check that out, as apparently there is some big prizes to be won, and they haven't done anything in-game to my knowledge, but if they're going to give out something in-game, you definitely don't want to miss a chance of winning it. So I'll have that linked in the description to the live stream if I can find a link for it. I'm pretty sure it's out there. But other than that, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Star Rail content, and I'll catch y'all in the next Star Rail video.